Hello everyone, this is part 7 of What If Naruto Left Konoha to Save His Life, and I hope you guys enjoy this video and to like, to subscribe, to share, and check out the playlist, to see more comment down below. Now let's start the intro.
They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god.
Join my membership, the perks are great. It's in the description. Be sure to like and subscribe, it gives me more motivation. Enjoy. Sakura and the others walked out of the Isukage's office, her new headband tied into her pink hair the same way she wore her old leaf headband. Temari had hers tied around her and Shikamaru placed it on his arm. Sakura looked to see Naruto looking over some paperwork with Reiji at his side. Filling out paperwork? Asked Sakura. Yeah, it's school papers, said Naruto as he handed the papers to Sakura. Here you know the details. Sakura quickly filled out the paperwork. Also, it's great to see all three of you in ice headband. Yeah, but we have to pass a test, said Sakura. I figured I had to do the same thing, said Naruto. They didn't tell us when, said Shikamaru as he crossed his arms. Normally it happens in about a week, maybe sooner for Sakura-chan, said Naruto as he looked at Sakura. We are short-staffed at the hospital, so we need medical ninjas. I see, said Sakura as she finished the paperwork. What are we going to do for a place to stay? No offense, Naruto, but I don't want to raise a family, and for that we need to get doing some missions to earn more money for a place, said Temari as Naruto placed his hand on his chin. Well, there are some good apartments near the train station. It isn't the best, but it is where most young couples live for a while until they can buy a place for themselves, said Naruto. Sounds good, said Shikamaru. It is I can give you a loan if you want, said Naruto. Thanks for everything, we will not need much, said Shikamaru. Don't worry about it, I have the money for my missions, being Anbu captain and being on the council, plus some I got from the trading company in the leaf. I have money, take as much as you need, said Naruto as Sakura turned in the paperwork. Well, Reiji, tomorrow you are going to school, said Sakura. Later that day, Shikamaru and Temari moved into a one-bedroom room apartment. Naruto, I have been meaning to ask you, does Katara and Saito know that they are adopted? Asked Sakura as they stood in Naruto's kitchen. Reiji was downstairs arranging his things in his new room. Yeah, they know. I didn't tell them their mother was wrapped. I told them that their father was a ninja who we don't know is alive or S, and their mother SD in bringing them into the world, said Naruto as he drank some water. I see. Do you have any idea who their father is? Asked Sakura. I have an idea, but I have no way to prove it, said Naruto as Sakura looked at him. Who is it? Asked Sakura. Tell me, when you looked at Katara, does she remind you of anyone? Asked Naruto. Yeah, but I couldn't place it, said Sakura. I couldn't see it at first, then I was looking through my old files one day and stumbled across some photos, said Naruto. Are you saying they're the children of someone we know? Asked Sakura. Yeah, said Naruto. Who? Asked Sakura. Think Sakura-chan. Who do we know that has black hair, dark eyes, and was an S-rank missing ninja? Asked Naruto as Sakura's eyes widened. Sasuke. Are you saying you think they're Sasuke's kids? Asked Sakura. No, said Naruto as Sakura let out the air she was holding. I think they're Itachi's. Itachi's? Asked Sakura as she mentally looked at Katara's face and put it next to Itachi's, and except for the gender differences and the lines under Itachi's face, it was a match. My god. Does it change your opinion of them, Sakura? Asked Naruto. No, I am just worried about what will happen if Sasuke ever finds out about them, said Sakura as Naruto nodded his head. Yeah, said Naruto as he looked at his watch. I have to go pick up Katara and Saito. A few minutes later, Naruto stood in front of the school waiting for his kids to come out. As soon as he stopped, several women about his age came up to him. He knew what they were going to ask before they even spoke. Please don't ask me out, I already have a girlfriend, said Naruto as he saw the shook and angry looks in the girls' eyes. Who? Asked one of the girls. Is it Miss Haruno, Dad? Asked a new voice as Naruto turned to see Katara and Saito standing there. Yeah, it is, said Naruto. Cool, she is nice, said Saito. Good, because she and her brother are going to live with us, said Naruto as he fought back laughter at the looks on the girls' faces. Is Reiji coming to school with us? Asked Katara. Yeah, He is going to be in class with you tomorrow, said Naruto as his kids nodded their heads. What about Mr. and Mrs. Nara, are they staying with us as well? Asked Saito. No, they got an apartment, said Naruto, come on let's go home. A few days later Sakura sat in a small room with a piece of paper in front of her. You have 2 hours to finish the medical test, said a woman wearing a white lab coat. I understand, said Sakura. If you pass this test and a treatment test then you can join our medical corps, said the woman as she left the room. Meanwhile Naruto stood in front of Des. Naruto, we have reports from Rose that war has broken out between the Leaf and the Cloud Village, said Des. I figured that those two would fight sooner or later. Danzo is power hungry and Sasuke is no different, said Naruto. And you brought 2 of their ninjas and 1 of their people here, said Des as he stood up and looked at Naruto. Naruto, you may have brought war to us. I know, sir, but there was nothing else I could have done. I wasn't about to leave Sakura behind, it was hard just to leave everyone else behind and I wasn't going to leave her in that hellhole, said Naruto as he looked Des straight in the eyes. As for Shikamaru and Temari, we're already defecting, so I only gave them a chance to get somewhere safe. You could have not have brought them here, said Des. Not an option, said Naruto as Des crossed his arms. You really love her, even if you haven't seen her in years, stated Des as Naruto nodded his head. Well, from our reports the Leaf got held up at the border and couldn't take the Cloud Village. So they are in a total war. Maybe we will not have to deal with the Leaf for a while. Maybe they take the deal I offer, said Naruto as Des raised an eyebrow. What deal was this? They leave me alone and I leave them alone, said Naruto. What are the chances of them taking that deal? Asked Des as Naruto shook his head. Not good, because Sasuke will come and try to kill me even if I hadn't taken Sakura with me, said Naruto as Des nodded his head. So no matter what he will come? Asked Des as he leaned back in his chair. More than likely, sorry, but no matter what I did they would have come, so I decided the woman I love. If you want to punish me then punish me, said Naruto. Naruto, war can be waged for many reasons. Love makes the most sense, said Des, besides when I retire in a few years it will be your problem not mine. So the rumor mill is true, I am going to be your replacement, said Naruto as Des laughed. Yeah, the rumor this time is right. Although you won't be able to go out on missions anymore. You will have to sit in on council meetings and read reports, said Des. So do you take the job? Yes, sir, said Naruto with a smile. Good, but you will have to wait 4 years, said Des. That is fine by me, said Naruto. Sorry, I can't change the law, you have to live 10 years in the village before you can take this chair, said Des as he sat down and smiled at Naruto. Now I would suggest you spend some time with Sakura. Later that day Des walked down a darkened stone hallway into a small office. So how are her SKS? Asked Des to an older red-haired woman wearing a white lab coat looked at him. You could have knocked. Asked the woman. Sorry, said Des, so are you going to tell me? Well, since you asked so nicely I'll tell you, said the woman as she picked up the file. With Sakura's photo on it. Simple put, she is the best I have ever seen. She can't be better than you. Said Des. Yes, she can heal a normal wound 3 times faster than me and I have never seen some of the medical justice she used, said the head medical doctor Mai. Well, she was the top student of Tsunade, said Des as Mai's eyes widened. Tsunade, as in Lady Tsunade, the best medical ninja the world has ever seen, that Tsunade? Asked Mai. Yeah, said Des. You idiot, yelled Mai, if I had known that I wouldn't have done those tests I would have her in the field teaching our medics those justice. Those justice are that good? Asked Des. Yeah, said Mai as she rolled her eyes, they will save countless lives, in fact I don't think we should put her into the field, it's too risky. We need her to teach us those justice. I see any real problem with her? Asked Des. Minor ones, has a little of a temper, other than that nothing really, said Mai, she will not have any problem finding a boyfriend, all the men were looking at her as she passed. She already has a boyfriend, said Des as Mai looked down at her file. She has only been here 3 days, said Mai. Wait, she came from the Leaf, are you saying she is dating Naruto? Yep, said Des. Wow, she'll have so many of the single women in the village after her ass for taking Naruto away from them, said Mai. From what I understand, it was Naruto who has loved her since they were in school together. Only recently did she return the feelings, said Des. They were even on the same squad together as Genin. I swear most ninjas end up marrying someone on their squad, said Mai. Maybe it has to do with sleeping together under the stars on missions and having to trust each other with your life, said Des. True, said Mai with a smile as she got out 2 small glasses and a large bottle of shake from her desk. Slowly she filled the 2 glasses, one for her and one for him. You know the rules, no drinking with co-works during hours, said Des as he took the glass from her hand. Yeah, like you would ever follow that rule, Des, said Mai with a roll of her eyes as she took the glass into her hand before downing it. If it makes you feel better, it's after hours and I am your wife. Very true, said Des with a grin as he drank his shake before pouring him another round. Sakura couldn't help but smile into her pillow as she remembered everything that has happened over the past 3 years. Flashback. They had been there for a little over 2 weeks and already things were becoming normal. Sakura started teaching some of the medical justice that Tsunade had taught her. Shikamaru and Temari passed their text and started on missions. Mai, the head doctor of the Ice Village's hospital, had taken her under her wing, showing her around the hospital. Teaching was a welcome change to Sakura. Back in the Leaf, Sakura was running the hospital in all but name. Danzo had given that title to Ino because she was from a main clan. Ino probably doesn't know the passwords for the main computer system that holds all the medical files, thought Sakura with a grin as she went back to teaching her class. End flashback. She still does some teaching, but no, she had worked her way up to being third in charge at the hospital behind Dr. Mai and an older man, Dr. Kai. Of course, work wasn't the thing on her mind right now. Flashback. About a month after they moved to the ice, Sakura stood in front of a full-body miner she had placed up in her room in Naruto's basement. She moved her red dress around again. Everything has to be perfect, thought Sakura as she leaned forward to check her makeup for the 10th time. Suddenly a knock came from the door, causing her to jump back a bit. Sakura, it's Temari. Come on in, said Sakura as Temari entered the room and smiled. I take it look good. I just hope Naruto doesn't pass out on the floor, said Temari. You don't think I need to change anything? Asked Sakura as Temari shook her head. No, you look great, besides Naruto doesn't care how you're dressed, said Temari. Now get going, the sooner you two get on your date the sooner you two can get back and we can go home. Sakura nodded as she left her room and headed up the stairs, only to see Naruto standing there in a nice shirt and tie. Sakura smiled as she watched Naruto's eyes widened a bit before he smiled himself. End flashback. That was their first real date and it was far from the last. At first there were some people who still tried to ask Naruto and Sakura out. They got their answer either with a stare down or a creak of knuckles. About 6 months after the date was when the first big change happened. Flashback. Sakura sat on the couch ready one of her books on one of her few days off when a knock came from the door. Slowly she closed her book and walked toward the door. She opened it to see Temari standing there. Temari, I thought you and Shikamaru had a mission. I did, but I fell sick so they sent Sire along, said Temari as Sakura stepped aside letting Temari in. You don't look sick, said Sakura. Yeah, it was just this morning, said Temari. I just couldn't keep anything down. I was going to go to the doctor's but then I started to feel better. You should go, said Sakura as she looked at Temari. You said it was just in the morning. Yeah. Temari, I think I have an idea what you many have, said Sakura. Good. I need some pills to get rid of this, asked Temari. You will not want to get rid of this, said Sakura with a grin. What? Asked Temari as she looked at Sakura. You know, Temari, for a genius you can be really dumb, said Sakura with a grin. You are sick in the morning. You know what that is sometimes called? Morning sickness. Temari's eyes shot wide. Are you saying that I am pregnant? I can't be sure without a test, but it fits, said Sakura. End flashback. Turns out she was right. 8 months later Temari gave birth to baby girl with black hair named Emi. The 3 of them had moved to a small 3-bedroom house and they had long since repaid Naruto. Shikamaru was now a Jonin leader and Temari did missions as well. They had started a good life, but Emi Nara was the only change to happen. Flashback. They had been dating for a little over a year and it was a clear full moon fall night. As the two of them walked through one of the parks hand in hand, they sat down on one of the benches by a small pond. Sakura placed her head on Naruto's shoulder as they looked up at the stars. Sakura-chan, can I ask you a question? Said Naruto as he put his arm around her shoulders. Yeah, said Sakura as she turned to look into Naruto's eyes. Will you marry me? Asked Naruto. Sakura's eyes shot wide as she looked into Naruto's eyes. It took her only a few seconds for the shock to wear off and a smile to spread across her face. Sakura quickly moved so that she was sitting on his lap and her arms were wrapped around his neck as she looked into those blue eyes that glowed even more than the stars above. Yes, Naruto-kun, said Sakura as Naruto smiled before they kissed. When they pulled apart, Naruto reached into his pocket and pulled out a small ring box. It's nothing much, but I always thought simple was better, said Naruto as he opened the box to show a ring with a single diamond in the center with 2 pink jewels around it. Naruto-kun, said Sakura as she watched Naruto put the ring on her finger, you is all I really need. End flashback. Sakura smiled as she raised her hand from under the covers and looked at her hand that now had her wedding band. That day and her wedding day was one of the happiest day in her life as her mind turned with a grin to her and Naruto honeymoon on a private beach house on the inner sea. Flashback. Sakura yawned as she placed her head on her husband of a little over a day bare chest. As their bare feet played with each other, tired Sakura-chan? Asked Naruto with a smile. And you're not after we did last night? Said Sakura with a grin as they swayed in the hammock as the waves gentle crashed onto the sand. I always had more endurance, said Naruto before he yawned as the sun hit his chest. Well, maybe I am a little tired. The truth finally comes out, said Sakura. I guess, said Naruto, you know what, Sakura-chan? What? You look amazing in that bikini of yours, said Naruto as he ran his fingers through his new wife's hair as she grinned into his chest. Well, I can't be walking around outside in the nude, can I? Said Sakura as she remembered Naruto's face when he saw her in bikini that was the same shade of pink as her hair. I wouldn't mind, said Naruto. Great, I married AL, said Sakura as she grinned before putting her hand down Naruto's orange swim trunks. Naruto looked at his wife a little surprised. I never said I wasn't a little L-ed as well. End flashback. Of course she would only say that to Naruto, and if he told anyone she still had her superhuman strength she could use on him. Sakura looked at her sleeping husband's face. Somehow he smiled even in his sleep. Normally she would have had her wrapped up in his warm arms as they slept, but someone else was in the bed with them. Sakura looked down between them. Wrapped in a warm blanket was another smaller sleeping face. The face of her and Naruto's first kid, their daughter Kushina. Their daughter was only 3 weeks old, but already she could see parts of Naruto and herself in the daughter. She had blue eyes like Naruto, but she had some strands of pink in her blonde hair. As she remembered back to the day that her Kushina came into the world. Flashback. Sakura stood over the oven making breakfast for everyone. Her belly bulged out wide, but she didn't care. It had her daughter in. Suddenly a pair of arms wrapped around her from behind and a head came to rest of her shoulder. Morning, Sakura-chan, how are you and our son doing? Fine, but I still think it's a girl. Asked Sakura, already knowing the answer. Naruto didn't want to know. He wanted a surprise, and as far as he knew Sakura didn't know as well, but she did. Daughter, son, I don't care, said Naruto with a grin as he placed his hand on her stomach. I will love him or her. I know, said Sakura as she kissed her husband of 10 months and the father of her unborn child. Suddenly she felt a pain in her body. Sakura-chan, what is it? Asked Naruto with worry in his eyes. Well, Naruto-kun, I think my water just broke, said Sakura as Naruto's eyes widened. Looks like we are going to find out if it's a boy or girl. End flashback. Morning, Sakura-chan, said Naruto out of nowhere as his eyes started to opening. Morning, Naruto-kun, said Sakura as she leaned forward and kissed him. As they parted they heard a yawn. They looked down to see Kushina looking up at them. And good morning to you, Kushina, said Naruto as he took his finger and ran it across his daughter's cheek, causing her to laugh. Naruto took a quick look at the cloak. I have to get ready, Sakura-chan, said Naruto. I know we have a trade conference here in a week, said Sakura as she picked up the daughter. Yeah, and since I am going to be the Isuke in a year, so I have to be at this meeting and all the meetings before the meeting, said Naruto as he slowly got out of the bed and headed to the shower, but not before kissing the top of his daughter's head. Across the ocean, Sasuke Uchiha sat in the Raikage's office overlooking the burning Cloud Village. The flames reflected off his red Sharingan eyes. The body of the Raikage was on the floor beside him as the screams of the Sing reached his ears. Finally, it's over, said Ino as she stood behind her husband. Are you kidding, woman? Said Sasuke. Soon all the villages will be under our control, or like the Cloud Village is now, and soon we will see Naruto and Sakura again and they will Ino lowered her head. I see, but they are across the ocean. They're leaving us alone. Why go after them? Asked Ino as Sasuke disappeared and reappeared in front of her before grabbing her by the throat and slamming her against the wall. I am surprised, woman. I thought you were smarter than that, said Sasuke as he glared at Ino. They stand against me and they shall for it. I understand, said Ino as Sasuke let her down. Good, now head back to Leaf and bring Shikamaru and meet me and an Anbu squad in Tea Country by tomorrow, said Sasuke. Yes, husband, said Ino as she left as Sasuke looked back out the window before pulling out a piece of paper. A week-long meeting with Between Nations, why not make it an appearance, said Sasuke with a grin. That will be all for this video. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and comment down below for more videos. Goodbye.